Hello, hello. It's great to see everyone this morning. April 1st, 2024. Happy April Fool's Day. And I've got a great April Fool's joke I'm going to play on my grandsons. I've got these sponges and I stick them in a cake pan, and then I've got a bunch of frosting. I'm going to throw that frosting, real thick, nice milk chocolate frosting on it. And then when I pick them up from school and it's time for their snack, I'm going to bring that cake out and I'm going to let them cut it. And underneath the frosting is going to be all these sponges. So it's Coach Kathy's sponge cake is what we call it.
I love it.
How about you, Dave? Any April Fool's tricks up your sleeve?
No, I became rather resistant to April Fools back when I was a kid because I played an April Fool's joke on my mother when she was at work one time. Told her that the house was on fire.
I love that.
I got in big trouble for that one. So that I kind of avoid April Fool's jokes.
Oh, my daughter did one. It wasn't April Fool's, it was actually Christmas, but you could use it. Like she bought one of those, got an lottery ticket that
Uh,
said you were the winner, but it's really a fake,
hmm
and gave it to someone. And oh, that was kind of a backfire too. It was like for
Oh,
$10,000, and they were going to buy a new house, and like they
oh,
had all these plans. It was just, yeah, it just wasn't that funny after after she did it. But
oh,
yeah.
goodness. All right. Well, I think, yeah, we're here. We're in. Welcome, everyone. Kathleen, you want to start us off? Or would you like to?
Yes, so I'm going to share my screen here. Um, let's see. Okay, there's my screen. Where's what I
Yes.
want though? Here we go. Okay, so let's go back. Ah, this is not the right one. Hold on a second here. Keynote. You can see I've done this a few
Mm-hmm.
times.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to pick the magic one. Let's see.
I think that's it.
This is it for
Yeah,
sure. All right. Worth waiting for.
absolutely.
Self-forgiveness. Hmm, okay. And I'm going to go to full view, enter full screen.
All right.
Okay. Here we go.
Oh, do you want to play it now? I think you push play to get it to be full screen because we can still see her
Yeah. Okay.
up to the left a little bit or other direction.
I
There
know
we
I
go.
my thing is on it. Like
Oh,
the Zoom thing is stopping me from getting up there. Let
oh
me
dear.
escape here, and then it just says this meeting is being recorded and live streamed.
Can you?
Yes, I know.
Oh, okay.
So let me go into arrange. There's one of these up here that should have allow
Yeah,
me to oh,
there
play
you go. There you
slideshow.
go.
We'll do that.
Yeah. All right.
There's full screen. All right, thanks. Thank you.
Pleasure.
All right. So,
So,
oh, go ahead, Dave. You're going to
okay.
start this off.
Yeah. So, guys, thank you so much for being with us again this week. We really enjoyed our first session. It was wonderful. We invite you to come with us down these remaining ones. April 1st today, self-forgiveness. A week from today, the document where we'll actually compile the document from the statements that we create through the self-forgiveness process. And then April 15th, tax day if you're in the US, locking in your document. And what a day to have a deadline to lock in your document. It's a fantastic thing. It's also a beautiful possibility because that leaves us 5.5 weeks from Birmingham, UK, the Ultimate Experience Birmingham. And this will be shared with everyone who is coming to Birmingham, and we will continue the conversation in Birmingham of expanding, deepening, locking in different ways, and basically sharing the continuation of having the document as your declared creation of life. So this fits very nicely together, and we hope you'll join us there. There's more information on how to get your tickets and get things arranged in the Ultimate Coach group. In particular, Matt Evans is one who can assist you with that. All right, next slide there, if you would.
All right, let's see. All right, so last week we talked about non-useful thoughts, and we're going to kind of give you a recap of that. So the power is always in the listener, and your thoughts determine how you listen. If you have a lot of non-useful thoughts going through your brain, you're going to listen through those non-useful thoughts. You're also going to speak through those non-useful thoughts. So if I'm feeling I'm just not quite worthy, or I'm not as good enough, maybe I'm not as good enough as Dave over here, as I am talking, I'm going to be just adjusting what I'm saying because I'm a little bit afraid, or I'm just not quite as good as that person who's in front of me.
Listening. Oh, sorry, if I can share the
Yes, absolutely.
one thing here. Yeah, so there's a distinction I want to share with in regard to listening, which is the doctor distinction. So the doctor distinction is that there was the best physician, the best surgeon for a particular surgery in the United States. He was far and away the best, and yet he knew that there was still space for him to become even greater at this surgery. And so he hired the second best surgeon in the United States to come and observe him. He hired him to come and coach him, and he gave him permission and requested that he look for everything. And so this doctor that was the second best doctor, came and helped him by observing the surgery and writing down everything he saw, everything that he noticed from his highly expert point of view. And he shared this with the doctor, and the doctor that was the greatest doctor in the land at this surgery became that much better. Now, the interesting thing is, this doctor that was the second best doctor also elevated his performance because he was able to see how this great doctor was doing things that he could incorporate into his own surgical practice. So the point of this is, we're listening for that everybody wins. We're listening for that you win. I'm listening to Kathleen such that she wins. And that is the invitation for you all, is to listen to us powerfully so that you win, but also so that we win. Everybody wins. All right. Thank you.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you, Dave. We wanted to also mention that when we talk about that voice that continually runs through your mind, we refer to that as yourself, as opposed to that state of beingness where you feel, depending on how you term it, your inner being, your source, your sense of spirit, God, whatever term you use, to where you're connected to that higher power. Let's see. Oops. I don't know what I...
Working on that, I want to talk a little bit more about the state of being. See, the problem is that once we start talking about state of being, we're talking about state of being as opposed to being. And the thing that's really interesting, it's interesting that to me that when Steve when you read the introduction to the book, he says, I never wanted to have a book written about me. Now that's true. He also didn't want to have a book written about being. The ultimate coach is, when read about oneself, it gives the experience of being. And that is the intention from which we're coming today. We're going to be talking through self-forgiveness. We're going to be talking about it. Then we'll be demonstrating it. And the intention is, and the request is, to listen about you and to experience and look for the state of being this forgiving way.
Okay. So I think we've kind of touched on this. You've got non-useful thoughts. Those are thoughts that disturb your peace. You also know if they're a non-useful thought because it triggers something in you. You feel a little angst, or you're upset, or you're angry or mad, or some type of more of a negative feeling comes up, as opposed to a useful thought of maybe I am content, or I am love, or you're just in that peaceful state. Do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, and this non-useful thoughts are going to come up. It's not like you reach a point, so far as I can tell, where all of a sudden no more non-useful thoughts come up. Because we are in the world and we are living life. Life will life you, and it can be big things or small things. Yesterday we were at my brother's house and having dinner with their family, and they have a lot of children, some of whom are very young and have not yet developed any sort of self-discipline. So one of my nephews, I was pushing one of my nieces and one of my nephews on this slide that they have. It's basically a swing set almost, and modified swing set. And this other one wanted to come up, and I said, hey, can you wait your turn? And he just totally blocked me out. I'm like, ugh. Listen, kid, I spoke to you. I told you to wait. I didn't say this. I thought this. But I'm like, ah. And I recognized, oh, wow, a non-useful thought towards this being that I love who's annoying me right now. So whether that's towards your spouse, your partner, your children, your parents, your neighbors, the people on TV, or people that you're driving with, non-useful thoughts will continue to arise. And today we're going to talk through the self-forgiveness piece, which allows us to transmute these thoughts, allows us to create the useful thoughts and release all of the attachment that we have, or all of the trigger or angst that we have when these non-useful thoughts arise.
And and the other piece, like I noticed myself, I would just be judging myself for having so many non-useful thoughts. Like, so you're like, whoa, like you just can't get away from it. But as you become better and better at the self-forgiveness, you'll find that you don't care. I mean, you accept those non-useful thoughts. It's okay. Like, everybody has them. And that's the other thing of working with a lot of people as they're doing the self-forgiveness process. Everybody has these. And that was one thing Steve said to me, you just clear it away, clear it away. Here it is, clear it away. It's just how you do it to keep your mind clear, so that then you can create from a more clear space. We talked about, where do non-useful thoughts come from? I mean, it could be from your childhood, your peers, your parents, your teachers, just from situations that hit you up in life, thoughts that you keep thinking over and over that have become beliefs. Um, how do you notice them? Like me, I feel an angst. Dave, it was kind of interesting last week, like when you notice an unuseful thought, like I was thinking, it seemed like it was more in your mind. Like me, it's more in my body, or
Mm-hmm.
I,
Yeah, well,
um,
it's a both, right? Like we drove last week. We drove a long distance to go visit a university with my daughter, the one that she'll be attending in the fall. And I've done a lot of work on road rage, and yet I still noticed in my body every once in a while when somebody's driving slow in the left lane, it's like, "Ah."
yeah.
And then I get to choose: do I continue down the path of anger, or do I choose to forgive myself for judging them for being an a-hole on the road? it's both and, it's in the mind and it's in the body. And I love how you notice things more in your body, because I do tend to be more of to notice things in my mind first.
Mhm.
So yeah, thank you. The filters are also very interesting. Like, if I've put a filter of kindness and blessing on, like you can consciously put on a filter that changes and helps you to deal with non-useful thoughts. If I put on this filter of I'm going to bless everyone that I encounter today, then when I'm driving, I'm blessing. I'm not looking for reasons to be upset. I'm looking for reasons to bless.
Yeah, and that kind of goes in with like being very fluid. So who am I being as I'm driving if I'm going to be kindness on the road? And then, you're with some other people. Who am I being to be considerate with these people so that everyone feels included?
Yeah.
That, okay. And then we asked you to come today with 20 to 30 thoughts in the form of an I am statement, coming from 3 to 4, like getting 3 or 4 different thoughts a day at least. Maybe some from are at work, some are with your family, some are with friends, some might be when you're shopping, getting gas, when you have to wait in line, just different experiences in your life that's going to pull in those non-useful thoughts from all different areas. And if you haven't done it, it's no big deal. You're still time to do it. You're still alive. You can still do it. Okay, so now we're going to get right into self-forgiveness, our topic for today. These are some ideas on self-forgiveness by Steve Hardison.
Each time you forgive, you take yourself deeper into the purity of your own consciousness. Forgiveness is the opposite of judgment. To practice forgiveness actually cultivates the quality of consciousness in which you finally come to forgive yourself. Forgiveness is that bridge that, when cultivated, will allow you to see clearly. Forgiveness allows spaciousness within your consciousness to grow. Forgiveness can occur anytime you want it to occur. Put forgiveness at the top of your list until you know how perfectly forgiven you are. Forgiveness itself becomes a delightful energy to live within. Practice forgiveness well until it becomes like taking a breath. Forgiveness, when complete, is the establishment of love. Every time that you have extended forgiveness, a miracle has occurred.
So Dave, when you listen to that, what hits you?
Listen to that. What occurs for me is an experience of the presence of love. Right? This morning, last night I had some weird dreams, like dreams that were unsettling. Right? They're the dream equivalent of non-useful thoughts, because I woke up and I'm like, I don't feel very good right now because I had bad dreams. And I what I noticed was, I checked in with the spirit, and the nudge was just feel love and direct love for everything. It's not even blessing, it's just simply experiencing love, and mostly and primarily for who I am being, for me, for myself. And so I sat there This was before before I would have normally done my document and, things like that. I just loved me. And then once I felt love for myself all the way through, then I was able to feel love for everybody else and the world, and gratitude for the dreams that were unsettling. So for me, this beautiful audio that Steve shared with you, and it points to this, that forgiveness, self-forgiveness, and self-love they're hand in hand. There's no judgment. So that's what occurs for me. That was the beingness that I got from that.
Wow, that's beautiful. Thank you, Dave. Thank you for sharing that. So, as we look to create a state of being that is self-forgiveness, it came to me to look at Simone Biles. Simone Biles is one of the greatest gymnasts of all time, if not the greatest gymnast of all time. And we're going to show you a clip of her. This is from a year ago, 2023, and just one of her tumbling passes. I want you just to sit back and observe her state of being in this pass. Like, wow. Like, that is amazing. And I think sometimes, like, we see people like Steve Hardison or Kasudi or Steve Bacon, Alok, all those people that if you went to the TUC event in Phoenix, like, wow, they're just so being. They just so have it. And how do you do that? Like, that's what I spent like the first 9 months of my coaching with Steve. How do I do that? And I really believe it's something anybody can do. There are many ways to do self-forgiveness. We're going to give you like one way. I don't think Simone came out of the gate doing something like that. She started with push-ups. She started with handstands. She did wall sits. She did sit-ups. She did all these foundational activities so that one day, or maybe many days, she is in that state of being where she is so connected, she is so focused that her mind is so clear. There is not a thought in there going, hey, maybe I'm not doing it right. She's clear. And that's what we want to give you. We're going to break this down and give you some tools. We're going to give you an actual process, but it's not the process. If you cannot get into the state of being of self-forgiveness, it's not going to work. And we also want to say there's a lot of different processes out there. I mean, the Hulnicks in their book, what is it, Loyalty to the Soul? Is that
Loyalty to
it,
Your
Dave?
Soul by Ron and Mary Hulnick. They have a beautiful section on compassionate self-forgiveness. Just amazing. And then
And
also,
then there, yeah,
right,
go ahead.
yeah, Just Sit Hen by Jody Vare. This is actually talking about her experience. She shares her experience of self-forgiveness with her mother on her drive back from University of Santa Monica, where they were talking about compassionate self-forgiveness. And this is the one that I first really got, where I first saw this outside of conversations with Steve. So this was beautiful as well.
And so, like, we don't want you to think it's just the process, do it, do it, do it, and you've got it. It's here's a process. You've got to get into the state of being. So we're going to explain it, and then we're going to demonstrate it, and then we're going to encourage you to practice it so that it becomes like a breath. Like you can be moving along, like as Dave was in the car noticing the road rage, and he was able to shift his being so that he was more clear. He was coming from a different place. So one of the tools, we're going to show you the self-forgiveness wheel, and then we're also going to show you the self-forgiveness statement. These are like the two tools. This is like a sit-up. This is a push-up. On the right, when I was working with Steve after my first time, and I had brought in 160 thoughts, non-useful thoughts, and I was taking them all through this self-forgiveness process, and my mind kept wandering. So I came up with this wheel on the right. This is what I actually came up with. It did not take long to do. I wanted just to make that point. I just put the kind of time zones of my life in a circle so that I could easily remember what they were and just work my way through them and not get distracted. So if you look at the wheel on the left, I just made this because it's bigger, it's easier to see, you can see the dates, and I put in different zones. Now I ended up with 8 zones. You could have 4 zones, you can have 20 zones, whatever works for you, just however you can divide your life up. So if you see down at the bottom, it says be now. So that's just talking about be in the present. And then if you go to the right, as you're looking at the screen, it says from 2016 to the present. That was a specific zone for me. I retired from 39 years of teaching in 2016. And my twin grandsons, A and C, Asher and Casey, they were born, and I began watching them 3 days a week full time during those days. And then LCS, I took a course through the Life Coach School, and then TUC, I started coaching with Steve Hardison. So that's 2016 to the present. We go back, my next time zone, it's only 3 years, but that's when my first grandson was born, and I was still teaching. From 2000 to 2013, I was teaching at St. Teresa Catholic School, and my daughter married a fabulous man named Brad. So those are kind of 2 big things in my life, 2000 to 2013. Now I go to the 1980s and 1990s. In 1979, I started a gymnastics company called Gymnastics for Growth. My daughter Colleen was born in 84. I sold the company to the JCC on a 5-year agreement at the end of the 80s. In the 90s, I'm still at the Jewish Community Center running that program out of there. They hired me to come in and run it. So I'm still doing the exact same job. I just have a place for it. So when I go back there, like I see those buildings, I see myself in there. I married my husband Jack in 95. And then I took back Gymnastics for Growth on my own. So these 20 years were a lot of gymnastics, and we also did a summer swim instructional program. Go back to the 70s, I married my first husband. I was teaching in Chandler, Arizona. IU, I went to Indiana University, Penn High School, Schmucker Middle School. Like these are just places in my life. When I go back to that time zone, those things come up. Brick Road, I go 1960s, our family lived on Brick Road. I went to Mary Frank Elementary, Harris Elementary. In 1955 and 60, I lived on Wall Street. This is Wall Street in South Bend, Indiana. I was not in New York. And then we come back to Be Now. So it's a snapshot of my life, because you'll find as you're doing these, and this is my interpretation, as you're doing these non-useful thoughts, if you're thinking like, I am jealous of blah, 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 you go back and I'm in grade school or I'm in junior high, I am jealous. Wow, I see that happening back there. That is not a new thought. That's probably something that's been going on all through your life. Dave, do you have anything to add to that?
I do. So the purpose of this is so that when we're going through and choosing a thought to work through with this self-forgiveness, is that it's not just one, like how I'm feeling now is important, and the nature of these thoughts is that they tend to reach back in the past, right? Like, so road rage for me went all the way back to when I was like 5 and this guy flipped my mom off for doing nothing. He was the one at fault, and it just enraged me that somebody would disrespect my mom. Like, how dare you, sir? I will come for you. And you know, my wheel is actually not a wheel. It's this little piece of paper, and it's decade by decade, and I do it according to what was the major system in my life, and they're just the abbreviations for me here. And so it's totally fine to have this however it works for you, and yeah, we'll demonstrate it. And by the way, I wanted to share one other thing here, which is that, you know, we tend to not see the greatness in ourselves. So you may have heard Kathleen talk about how these other people, Steve Bacon and Karan, or yeah, not Karan, but Alok, were on the stage, and they had all this greatness and presence. And I'm like, you know, from my perspective, Kathleen, you had all that too. Like, you are that. You know, you were up on that stage, you were speaking in the panel, and you had all the authority and all the power. And so did I. We are that. So that just, yeah, the invitation here is to remember that you also get to include yourself in this greatness thing. We are all becoming that. Thank you for letting me share that. Back over to you, Kathleen.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So the second piece is the self-forgiveness statement. And so it's I forgive myself for judging myself that or that I am one who is sad. So we're going to take your I am statements and put them into this form. So Dave's come, he's got 3 statements that he's going to read. And I think, let's see. Yeah, this is where we're going to stop sharing the screen there.
There we go.
All right.
All right. So you want me to just read the 3 right now?
Yeah, so just take a moment to center yourself, get yourself in that place of connection, and then just choose 3 statements to read.
Okay. I am that I love people, and they won't get along, and I can't fix it. I am that I don't have the discipline to create what I want.
Beautiful.
I am that no matter how hard I try, it doesn't work out.
Okay. So he sat with those, and then I'm going to ask him, is there one you feel you'd like to start with?
Yeah, the first one, I am that I love people, and they won't get along, and I can't fix it.
Okay. All right. So you've got like there's a lot of ideas in there that I love people, they won't get along, and I can't fix it. Can you take those 3 ideas and pick like where you want to start?
Yeah. Yeah, so where I'd like to start with this is it's not the I love people. That's quite beautiful. I love loving people. That's who I am. I am love. The non-useful thought is that I have great sadness when people that I love, like I love this person and I love this person, and they're not getting along, and they're fighting and they're talking smack about each other, and I cannot help them see how great this other person is. Like I can't bring peace to the situation. That's, I think, what I'd like to talk through. That's what I'd like to handle. So I'm not sure exactly how to state that. Let me try that. I am I am that I cannot bring peace to a non-peaceful situation. Let's try that one.
Okay. So if you write out the whole statement, I forgive myself for judging myself that I am one who can't bring peace to a non-peaceful situation. So we're going to start with that. And I think it's good to write it out so that you're really clear on what you want to say, what you're going for.
Okay, it's written out.
Okay. So you're going to go, like if you're on the wheel, Dave's on a piece, like just a linear list.
Mhm,
You're going to start at be now and
mhm.
just say it 3 times, getting it to like come into your heart, like speak from your heart, speak from that place of connection. We talked last week, how do you get connected? It might be thinking of a child that you love dearly, thinking of a person who you really love. It might be think of a situation where you really felt connected. Get into that place. Okay. And then whenever you're ready, say it 3 times.
I forgive myself for judging myself that I am one who cannot bring peace to a non-peaceful situation.
Beautiful.
I forgive myself for judging myself that I am one who cannot bring peace to a non-peaceful situation. I forgive myself for judging myself that I am one who cannot bring peace to a non-peaceful situation.
Great. Now you're going to go to your first time zone from now to the present, the time zone closest to where you are right now,
Mhm.
and say it 1 time in that time zone.
Forgive myself for judging myself that I am one who cannot bring peace to a non-peaceful situation.
Beautiful. Now go back to your next time zone.
Forgive myself for judging myself that I am one who cannot bring peace to a non-peaceful situation.
And then go back to your next time zone.
I forgive myself for judging myself that I am one who cannot bring peace to a non-peaceful situation.
And when you're ready, go back to your next time zone.
I forgive myself for judging myself that I am one who cannot bring peace to a non-peaceful situation.
Beautiful. Go back to your next zone.
Forgive myself for judging myself that I am one who cannot bring peace to a non-peaceful situation.
And so when I'm working with someone, I just ask them, when you get back to your be now, just let me know when you're all done with your time zones. So go to your next zone.
Yeah, this is my last one. Forgive myself for judging myself that I am one who cannot bring peace to a non-peaceful situation.
And then staying connected, say your statement 3 more times.
I forgive myself for judging myself that I am one who cannot bring peace to a non-peaceful situation. I forgive myself for judging myself that I am one who cannot bring peace to a non-peaceful situation. I forgive myself for judging myself that I am one who cannot bring peace to a non-peaceful situation.
And then you're going to say, for the real truth is, and listen to that inner being.
For the new truth is, that I am the presence of peace, a peacemaker, and I allow people to be exactly as they are. In this moment, in this situation. Hmm.
So I am the presence of peace, a peacemaker, and I allow people to be exactly as they are in this moment, this situation. So write that down. I am the presence of peace, a peacemaker. I allow people to be exactly as they are.
Hmm.
In this moment, in this situation.
Hmm.
So from that non-useful thought, this becomes a declaration or a line of your document. And, like there's with this is a really great one just to say, like you could end up with two parts to it. You might condense it a little bit, but the idea of I am the presence of peace, a peacemaker, and I allow people to be exactly as they are. Like that, that's really beautiful, Dave.
Hmm. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, can you repeat that statement?
I am the presence of peace, a peacemaker. I allow people to be exactly as they are in this moment, in this situation.
Beautiful. So it's really helpful, like just to sit with it for a moment. And like, I guess what I want to say is you have the realization of like, this is the new truth. You can keep this in your mind, keep going to this, or you go back to your story of the non-useful thought. So like now you've got this, but
Mhm.
it's the continual focusing on that thought is where we're going.
Yeah, it's beautiful. The it was really interesting, that each time I moved to a different zone of my life on the wheel, um, it was like a new or a different version of that non-useful thought, that judgment against myself showed up. And I got to forgive, it wasn't just forgiving myself for the whole everything right now, it was forgiving myself in each of those zones. That's brilliant. Thank you.
Yeah. I, and I think it's hard to put a finger on it why it's so effective, but going all the way back through your life really makes a difference for me. Yeah.
Thank you.
You want to do another one, Dave?
Let's do another one. Okay. Um, yeah, this is one that's present for me right now because I have 15 days to get it done, which is I am I am one who dreads doing my taxes, and I feel guilty because I haven't done them yet.
Okay. So do you want to go with the dread, or do you want to like kind of focus on I'm feeling guilty, or what?
Mhm.
I
Let's
think
see
when you
here.
first start, it's helpful if it's one idea, one thought. It doesn't have to be, but it just when you're
Simplifies
first
it.
learning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the dread is actually a manifestation of the guilty. So let's do that. I'm one who feels guilty because I haven't done my taxes.
Okay. So put it in the I forgive myself for judging myself that I am one who feels guilty for not doing my taxes or that I haven't done my taxes. However you want to word that. And I think when you write out the I forgive myself for judging myself, there's some energy created by doing that. And I think it's valid to write that piece out and then put your non-useful thought on it. And we also have like, I am one who, so it's not just, I forgive myself for judging myself that I am guilty. We're making that separate from who you truly are, that I am one who is guilty versus that I am guilty. I'm sorry, yeah, guilty, that I'm feeling guilty.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay. So um, I got it written down.
Okay, so start at be now, and you're
Mhm.
going to go 3 times. Here we go.
Give myself for judging myself as one who is guilty because I haven't done my taxes. I forgive myself for judging myself as one who is guilty because I haven't done my taxes. I forgive myself for judging myself as one who is guilty because I haven't done my taxes.
So staying connected, being in that place. Move when you're ready, go to your first zone.
Forgive myself for judging myself as one who is guilty because I haven't done my taxes.
And go back.
Forgive myself for judging myself as one who is guilty because I haven't done my taxes.
Beauty, beautiful. When you're back, when you're ready, go to your next zone.
Forgive myself for judging myself as one who is guilty because I haven't done my taxes.
And then I'm just going to encourage Dave just to keep going on your own. I'm not going to direct you. When we get back to be present, let us know.
I forgive myself for judging myself as one who is guilty because I haven't done my taxes. I forgive myself for judging myself as one who is guilty because I haven't done my taxes. I forgive myself for judging myself as one who is guilty because I haven't done my taxes. And that's my youngest zone. I made it all the way through the zones.
All right, so then say it 3 more times, staying connected.
I forgive myself for judging myself as one who is guilty because I haven't done my taxes. I forgive myself for judging myself as one who is guilty because haven't done my taxes. I forgive myself for judging myself as one who is guilty because I haven't done my taxes.
For the real truth is,
But the real truth is that I am whole and complete as I was created.
so write that down. I am whole and complete as I was created. And then go back to the top, read your first statement, and then add this second statement to it.
The presence of peace, a peacemaker. I allow people to be exactly as they are in this moment, this situation. I am whole and complete as I was created. Yeah, there's something else that wants to be added there, which is comma, missing no part. I'm whole and complete as I was created, missing no part.
It's beautiful.
It was really interesting, Kathleen, to notice that the as I went through my wheel, it wasn't, guilty because I haven't done my taxes. It was judging myself as one who was guilty. Insert reason here.
And say that again, in what? In
Insert reason, like because I haven't done my taxes was just a because, and there's a million becauses. The actual forgiveness was judging myself as one who was guilty, and then because, everything that follows because could be replaced by any number of things.
yeah, yeah. Well, that's beautiful, Dave. I appreciate your vulnerability and you like just going through it and expressing, coming up with your new thought and sharing how you've shared. Thank you. I think that's very meaningful.
Thank you.
And I
Thank
think
you
that
for
will
hearing
help
me.
people to kind of see how the process works. Is there anything else you want to add from doing it?
um just a thank you. Thank you for walking me through this. The experience of this, of the being and the doing that comes from it is profound. Thank you, Kathleen.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate so much you doing this with so many people watching. And thank you. I think it will help. It will help people know how to do it and be able to practice it on their own. Um, I'm going to share my screen again because we wanted to go into homework for next week. Let's see. I've got to do the play thing. You,
I think it's already
yeah.
playing.
Oh, is it? Okay,
Yeah.
good. I know I've got this part of
Mhm.
Zoom is covering my thing. All right. Oh, homework. So we'd encourage you to, if it feels right for you, to make some type of timeline if you feel that would be helpful. Take your non-useful thoughts that are in that I am statement and add the self-forgiveness statement to it. I forgive myself for judging myself that I am one who is sad, or I am one who feels guilty. And then take each non-useful thought and go through the self-forgiveness statement, and then listen for the real truth and write that down. Read that statement out loud. And then as you work through each non-useful thought, then add it as a statement in your document. Next week, we're going to talk about the document, and you'll see, then you can kind of weed out. You might have like a bunch of statements that really, or let me say, a bunch of real truths that say the same thing. We'll talk about that. But I think for right now, whatever comes up, just put it down as it comes up. And then you can make decisions on whether to combine or, how you want to do it. But we'll talk about that next week. Dave, anything you want to add to that?
Just the reminder to be connected to your innocence. The thought that came to me was another nephew, my newborn nephew, Nicholas. I got to hold him for the first time or second time last night. And just holding him was this precious little life that is just clean, has no mistakes in it, and that's the being of myself, connecting to my own innocence, having done always the very best I could. That's where I come from when I was doing, that's where I came from when I was doing this document, or this portion here.
Yeah. Great. Thank you, Dave. Thank you so much. Thank you for your heartfeltness. It really is. It's just wonderful to be with. I really appreciate you.
Thank you, Kathleen. I appreciate you. Thank you all, everyone, for attending this and for listening about yourself and going through the process for yourself. This is a beautiful thing. And again, there's no wrong way to do it. This is a way that works, and this is a way that works. Let's put it that way.
Great. All right. Anything else? Should we?
No, just a reminder that if you haven't made your choice to come to Birmingham with us, make that choice. And I hope it's a choice to say yes, because Kathleen and I will be there, sharing some more advanced thoughts on the document, along with Fiona Ross and the many other speakers that are going to be there. If you run into any concerns or questions on this homework, or please comment on the video in the Ultimate Coach Facebook group, and Kathleen and I will be answering questions and things there. And that's, I think that's about it. Same time next week, next Monday. I think that's it. Anything else from your side, Kathleen?
No, I think that's great. Just thank you for everyone for being here. We love you. Have a beautiful day.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Bye-bye.